Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your free NHL playoff previews and predictions for a Sunday, June 6th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Sunday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are watching on a mobile device. Today's podcast brought to you by HockeyPicks.com. Anybody can play, anybody can join, and you want to follow the top scorers right now at HockeyPicks.com. Keith Wise won here at 874. Connect down under Rory Bashnik at 815, and Benji from Detroit at 790. In fact, Benji's one of our most followed players here at HockeyPicks.com, along with fella from Finland. As you can see, we're worldwide here with our pickers, and I'd like to thank everybody who joins and plays each and every day right here at HockeyPicks.com. All right, let's get to the Bell Center between the Montreal Canadiens and the Winnipeg Jets. Now, the Habs stole two in Winnipeg, and now they're at home in Game 3 up 2-0, and what a feeling that must feel for the Habs. But this is a dangerous, dangerous spot for Montreal. Game 3 is always a tough spot because either, depending on the series, you can either really throw the hammer to the Jets here by going up 3-0, or you let them in by losing, then next thing you know, it's 2-1 in series, and then that big Game 4, right? But when you got have goaltender will travel, that's what's happening right now in Montreal. Carey Price, proven winner. When it comes to playoff time, just like Kawhi Leonard in basketball, whenever you have a strong goaltender that have experience and is a future Hall of Famer, it's one of those things in hockey. He can have a bad season in the NHL, or what we consider a bad season when you look at analytics. But anytime you go in the playoffs, you just flip that switch, and the price is right? But this is going to be a tough game here today for the Montreal Canadiens. They're going into this one as a -141 favorite. Over-under set at 5.5. ATS forecast, computer pick, going with an upset here. The computer, based on 75 simulated games, 3.17 for Winnipeg, 2.86 for the Montreal Canadiens. The over-under at 6.03. The Habs and the Jets are both 6-4 in the last 10 games, and the over-under pretty even. 5-5 for Winnipeg, 4-6. Now, my line on this game, I did have the Jets at -105, and I had Montreal at +138. And again, if you're new to the Raymond Report and you're wondering how do you come up with that DMVI, which is the Daily Market Value Index, I look at the sports like I do the stock market. And if I were to buy Montreal today on the stock market, I would recommend it at +138, but -105 for Winnipeg. So there is value in the Winnipeg Jets, but momentum is shifted towards the Montreal Canadiens, right? So going back to my fundamentals of handicapping, and it's so easy to start lining up the parade route on St. Catherine Street, right? It's too easy. The momentum, Carey Price, team's playing well. You stole two. The Scheifele's out. Probably drained a bit of the emotions out of that Winnipeg the room right now, the bench. But you're going to Montreal, and you're facing, Game 3, big game. We saw those games yesterday, how emotional it'll be, right? And for Winnipeg to get back in this series, if you watch that Boston and New York Islanders series game last night, you could see that the tension, the electricity from the crowd. That's hockey. That's playoff hockey right there, and that's what this series needs right now. This series reminds me of a library crowd, right? Like walking into a library and everybody reading a book right now. You got to really pump up that energy right now. And there will be some fans today. There was 2,500 allowed. I don't know what the number is now. And we all know Montreal fans, very spirited, very know their hockey, and they can get behind their team. So it could have a little bit of atmosphere here today. And good thing we do have fans back, because it does bring the atmosphere, and it does influence a bit of I don't know if it the zebras a bit. Because, you see a bad call not being called, the fans will let you know, right? You saw that last night in New York. What a great game that was. Now, coming back to this one between the Habs and the Jets, I think Montreal is going to be, looking at this game, perception versus reality. The perception is that Montreal's got all the momentum. Carey Price, that's all we talk about is Carey Price, right? That's all they're talking about. But there's another good goaltender at the other end in Hellebuck, he's done a great job. The only thing with Winnipeg, they're not scoring goals for him right now. If you look at the last couple of games, 2.3 goals for, and 0 goals in that game. But they in the last game was 1-0, and then 3 goals in the first game, right? So they're gonna have to find the offense, and let's be honest, they did have a good series against Edmonton. They got rid of the Oilers in 4. So this is not chopped liver here. This is a good hockey team. I think if you're going to play this game here today, the total's where you want to lean. I would lean under the total. I'm seeing a 3-2 overtime here, and it could go either way. Obviously the perception is it's easy to take Montreal right now, but don't rule out Winnipeg. This is the make or break game for them. They lose this game, it's over in 4, in my opinion. Now, Winnipeg on the road, when they're facing a team that's below 500. Keep in mind, Montreal still a team below 500. 30-35 so far this season. That's regular season and playoffs. And you compare that to Winnipeg, who's 34-28. When they're on the road against those teams below 500, they're 12-6 straight up, 9-9 to the over/under. Where Montreal against B-type teams that are 59.9% in the standings, 3-2 straight up, 4-1 to the over. So I think this one here goes under the total here today. I'm seeing a 3-2 game. Could go either way, and I would love to just call Montreal 3-2 than the Habs, but the thing is, fundamentals. I got to go back to my fundamentals of handicapping, and this is a big game, so I'm not going to touch the side on this one, but I think it's going to be a 3-2 game, and you can flip a quarter on which side. Now, Colorado, Vegas. Vegas needed that win last game. Now, Vegas finally got that W in Colorado. Now, they go into this game as a -116 favorite. The over-under is set at 5.5. Forecast computer pick sees a Golden Knight victory here. 3.19, 2.5. The over-under at 5.69. Again, I said it since the beginning. I'm not sold on Colorado yet. I just, knowing McKinnon, knowing his injury status, his history of always being injured, I just don't know if he's going to be able to, grind out a 7-game series without getting injured, right? And once that starts happening and, you start missing shifts or whatever, I'm hoping he's able to survive because Colorado's a fast team, a good team, but I don't think they have the type of team like a Tampa Bay does, right? I said many times in these podcasts, Tampa Bay, you think they're out and then they just flip a switch and next thing you know, you go to the bathroom at 6-4, right? But, looking at Vegas and Colorado, getting Pacioretty back was huge for the Vegas Knights. It gives them a bit of extra, that Batman and Robin syndrome I keep talking about in my podcast. Now that, Stone doesn't feel like he's got to be the guy. And Marchessault, he's a good player, but he's not a Robin or a Batman type guy, right? 3.19 to 2.5, the over-under at 5.69. If I'm going to play this one here today, I think there's good value here on Vegas, -123. And you can see it's -116. And, in Vegas, in the States, there's fans at the games, and the Golden Knights fans have done a phenomenal job. They understand hockey, they get it, and the fans has just been amazing. And looking at Colorado, -188, so you're getting good value on the Avalanche. And looking at their last couple of trips in Vegas, now let's take a look here. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games against the Golden Knights, and 3-7-0 to the under in the last 10 meetings between these two teams. And going into this one, I think it's a 4-2 type game here today for the Vegas Golden Knights. And if I was to play this one, I would play Vegas -116. And that is my prediction today on the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. And I think I would go under in the Habs and Winnipeg Jets game. Don't forget, folks, you can follow the top pickers each and every day right here at hockeypicks.com. My handle here is Ronnie Ray. I went 2-0 yesterday. Had a good night yesterday. And you can always follow my picks here each and every day at hockeypicks.com. Have yourself a fantastic Sunday. Enjoy the games. Game 7 in the NBA. And right after that, you got the Habs and Jets. And then the Twilight. And then you also got the Red Sox and Yankees. Man, it's going to be a busy night here today at the Raymond Report. Have a great rest of your day. As always, shop for value. Play those percentages. I'll see you back shortly here with another Raymond Report. Cheers.